What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing Dana White's announcement for UFC 307, and let's get into the main event. Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr. is the main event for UFC 307 going down in Salt Lake City. And this is the big, I think everyone knew Raquel Pennington-Penny was going to be on this card. Some other, fights have been announced that we'll get into, but this video is about the main event and what it means for the sport and why this has to change. And it's just, why is Khalil Rountree getting a title shot? Why is this happening? This makes no sense at all. You have Magomed Ankalaev, who is on, I believe, a 10-fight winning streak, who is the only guy in the top 5, he's ranked number 2, only guy in the top 3, top 5, who is not coming off a loss. He is the clear-cut number 1 contender. Most people thought he beat Jan Blachowicz in that fight. Instead, it went to a draw. So you can make a debate that he should be the champion right now. And this guy is not getting a title shot. Instead, he's fighting Alexander Rakic at UFC 308. Well, we all thought that Pereira was we didn't think Pereira was going to fight for the rest of the year. When I saw that matchup, I was like, okay, Pereira wants some time off. Makes sense. Maybe to train a little bit more for a for a more grapple-heavy fighter. Even though Ankalaev also has very good striking, he is mainly a striker. I know a lot of people just see, he's from that part of the he's from the Caucasus region, or he's Dagestani. They think that he's just a grappler. He's not. Magomed Ankalaev is primarily a striker, just with super well-rounded game, and he's fighting Alexander Rakic at UFC 308, a month after UFC 307, where Pereira versus Rountree is going down. What is this? What are we doing? First, we make Belal Muhammad sit on the sidelines for a year and a half, even though he's been the rightful number 1 contender for months, and give a shot to Colby Covington. That fight fucking sucked. And he didn't deserve it. And the fight sucked. It's a double whammy right there. It's ridiculous. We have UFC 299. Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera is coming off losing, and I know someone better not say, oh, it was a split decision to Corey Sandhagen. No, he lost that fight probably every single round of that fight. Got 50-45 by Corey Sandhagen. Squeaks by Pedro Munoz, who has not won a fight since that fight with Marlon Vera, and gets a title shot against Sean O'Malley. And the fight sucks because he didn't belong in there. Marlon Vera did not belong in there with Sean O'Malley, and that's why that fight sucked and that main card took a hit, in my opinion. It was supposed to be, you had Merab. You had a clear number 1 contender. And now finally Merab's getting a shot. Thank God. You only took one fuck up before he gets his shot. Same with Belal Muhammad. It's even worse. And now we look at the recent fights. We have Adesanya versus Dricus. Now, a lot of people are going to say Adesanya doesn't deserve the title shot, which he does not. He does not deserve it. But in this case, context matters. In the middleweight division, there is no clear-cut number 1 contender. So Adesanya versus Dricus, it's a fight they both want. It makes sense. I've gone into this fight a lot in my last 2 videos, but that fight makes sense because there is no clear number 1 contender. So Adesanya fighting Dricus makes sense. In this case, there is a clear number 1 contender in Magomed Ankalaev. And anyone who says that Ankalaev is not the number 1 contender does not know what they're talking about. And just say that you hate him because of his religion or where he's from. Just say that. Like, if you're honest about that, I'll respect your opinion more. But, acting like this guy doesn't deserve a title shot is crazy. Because keep in mind, the same people that say that Ankalaev doesn't deserve a title shot have no issue of Colby getting it. No issue of Colby Covington getting it. Have no issue of Belal Muhammad being skipped over. No issue of that at all. No issue with probably Marlon Vera getting it. And I want you guys to know this. Marlon Vera is one of my favorite fighters. But I have to speak the truth about these guys. Even if I love these fighters, the truth is the truth, and that is Marlon Vera did not deserve that title shot. And Khalil Rountree Jr. getting this title shot. Oh my God, you know what makes it even worse, guys? This is so depressing. Oh my gosh. You know what makes this fight even worse? Is that Khalil Rountree is coming off a win over the dead body of Anthony Smith. He got a robbery victory over Dustin Jacoby. His win before Anthony Smith was against Chris Daukaus. I will knock out Chris Daukaus. My mother could knock out Chris Daukaus. My grandma could. Anyone can. And on top of that, this man was going to fight Jamal Hill, but had to pull out because he got caught for using banned PD substances. So maybe it was on purpose, maybe it wasn't. I kind of have a theory that he admitted to it before he was forced to say he did it, so it makes it look like, oh, it was on accident. When we have the new in-house drug system for the UFC, so I think a lot of guys are juiced up and we don't know it. And his suspension was not that long because it's an in-house system anymore. It's no longer USADA. Dana White makes the rules for all this shit now. Dana White can have fighters fight juiced up if he wants. He have fighters not juiced up if he wants. There's no actual drug system. It's all under the UFC now. It's all in-house. So as far as I'm concerned, Khalil Rountree might be a goddamn cheater. And on top of that, it's just, he's coming off, having to pull out of a fight because he was using illegal substances. On purpose or not, it doesn't matter. He had to pull out of a fight on a big card, McGregor card. Well, what obviously didn't turn out to be McGregor, but at that time it was because of banned substances. And we're rewarding this man with a title shot? What is this? What are we doing, UFC? Dana White, stop ruining this sport, man. I get it. There can be a gray area. If a fighter, if there's two guys vying for that number one contender spot and one guy's a lot more popular, I get giving it to him. But there is no gray area here. We need a meritocracy. This is making the belt, a UFC belt don't mean as much anymore when we're having stuff like this. And the fact that the UFC is trying to protect Alex Pereira is ridiculous. It's just, oh my gosh, this is so stupid. It's a matchup made in heaven for Pereira. He's going to dominate this guy. And oh my God, imagine this, guys. If Khalil Rountree wins, they're going to book a rematch. So for the next year, the light heavyweight division might just be Alex Pereira fighting Khalil and then rematching him if he loses. Absolutely disgusting. I don't even want to think about that. Absolutely disgusting. And when you go through the divisions in the sport, heavyweight ruined because of Stipe. Undeserved title shot. Has not won a fight in 4 years. Light heavyweight has already been kind of shit, and now it's getting ruined even more because we have Khalil Rountree fighting for a belt in one of the most undeserved title shots I've ever seen. You have middleweight. Middleweight is no clear-cut number one contender, so Adesanya, it makes sense. This is a great fight, super hype fight. If you don't like that fight, I don't know what to tell you. Welterweight finally got fixed by Bilal Muhammad, but for the year before that, we had Colby Covington fucking, coming out of witness protection his last one was over washed up Ori Masvidal, and he got a title shot. And for all I know, they might book Usman versus Bilal. If they book Usman versus Bilal, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I'm not saying Usman needs to win a lot. Usman needs one win, then he can get a title shot. Book him versus Gary. Book him versus Leon. I'd love to see a 4-fight with Usman and Leon. That would be great. But if they give Usman a title shot, it's just no way. No way. But I have to believe that they'll do it. Usman deserves a title shot more than Rountree does, in my opinion, just because he was actually a long-range champ. Debatably went to a draw with Khamzat Chimaev. So, up a weight class. So, Usman deserves a title shot even more than Rountree. So, they'll probably book Usman versus Bilal, which is also a disgrace to the sport. Oh, my God. Lightweight is in decent shape, Hopefully, Arman gets the next title shot. Hopefully, that happens. Nothing's confirmed yet. I think, that should happen, but who knows? Who knows at this point? Featherweight makes sense. Bantamweight, we're finally getting the number one contender to the fight. But for the past year, the bantamweight was stupid because we had Martin Vera fighting for the title, which made no sense. You have flyweight, which I know Urseg was not ranked high, but in that case, no one was really calling for Amir Abazi title shot, and Amir Abazi didn't necessarily deserve it. Flyweight was also kind of like a middleweight situation where it was kind of up in the air. I guess you had Abazi, which Amir Abazi might have been hurt too. Do not take that with a grain of salt. He might have been hurt, but you had so you had Ursig, which did deserve it, but in the case of the flyweight division, made sense. You could have given him Muhammad Mokaev. Oh yeah, speaking of that, the UFC did not re-sign the number one contender in the flyweight division. So in almost all these divisions, we have undeserved title shots, champions holding up the division. We have number one contenders being cut from the sport. What is this? This is not what this sport is supposed to be, and this is a slippery slope, guys. This is, the more fans cheer this on and suck Daddy Dana's fucking dick throughout all of this. Don't give him any backlash. Well, the media continues to just worship Dana like he's God. This is going to keep happening, and it's a slippery slope. In the next 12 months, every title shot might be undeserved, not just maybe half of them. This stuff is ridiculous. On to more of the card. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. What a disgusting fight. Pena coming off getting murdered basically by Amanda Nunes. Hadn't fun. I saw some stat like 750 days or something. That fight sucks. Kayla Harrison versus Caitlin Vieira. I almost wish Kayla Harrison was just fine for the belt at this point. mean, okay, women's fight, featured fight on the card, kind of stinks. That's a featured fight. Mosar Everlove versus Aljamain Sterling. That's a very good fight. I love that fight. I think Everlove's probably gonna. I like Sterling a lot. I'm one of the few guys that actually kind of like Sterling, but I think Everlove's probably gonna butcher him. But very good fight though. I love that fight. Jose Aldo versus Mario Batista. I wish Jose Aldo was fighting a bigger name maybe, but this is a great fight though. Love to see Jose Aldo fighting. I kind of have a suspicion that he's also on PEDs too. I'm not gonna lie. He looked really good in that last fight after that layoff, and he's old for bantamweight. But still, regardless. That's a theory. We're not discussing that today. But Jose Aldo, great fight. Love to see him back. You go to the prelims. Delice versus Kevin Holland. Okay fight. I think Kevin Holland's kind of a bum. Delice's decently entertained fight. Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Solid fight. Nothing special. So when you look at the card on paper, it's not a horrible card. It's a decent card. Those two fights on the prelims are solid. Mosar, the Aldo fight, I think are really good, but the co-main event stinks. The featured fight is and the main event, listen, I'm sure the main event's going to be entertaining. In fact, I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight. I think Alex Pereira is going to absolutely dominate him, get a first round knockout, but it will be an entertaining fight. But just because we get 3, 4, 1 round of entertainment, that's not how, title shots are determined. I think seeing Alex Pereira knock out Magomed Ankalaev is a lot more meaningful and a lot more entertaining than this. What does Rountree do for this guy's legacy? And oh my gosh. You know what the UFC is going to do, guys? You know what the UFC is going to do? They want Pereira to get another title defense on his resume, even though I don't even count this as a title defense. This means nothing. This is nothing. In fact, the fact that Pereira's fighting this guy almost diminishes his legacy even more. Because he's not fighting the real greatest guys in the division. And light heavyweight ain't good. But and that's why a lot of people, I've had people say, Magomed doesn't deserve it. He just beat Johnny Walker. He's wins over Johnny Walker, Nikita Krylov. Should have probably beat Jan Blachowicz. You go through Magomed Ankalaev's resume. His resume is very good for light heavyweight. Just keep in mind, light heavyweight stinks as a division. It's not lightweight. A 10-fight winning streak in lightweight is going to look a lot more impressive name-wise than a 10-fight winning streak in light heavyweight. So keep that in mind. But it just makes me sick that in this sport that I love so much, we're having these just blatantly undeserved title shots over and over again and trying to protect champions. You're the champion of the world. You are supposed to fight the best. That is why you are the champion. Not fight a guy who's not even ranked in the top 5 game. I don't even care about rankings. And by the way, this fight proves that no one should care about rankings. But this fight is, it's so bad. Oh my gosh, this fight is so bad. I might as well just do Pereira versus Anthony Smith. At least that would be for the memes. It'd be fun. There's really no difference. Or if you're gonna if you want to protect Pereira, how about book him versus Jamal Hill too? Do the rematch so I can see how salty Jamal Hill gets after he loses again. I get, maybe there's a slight silver lining. And keep in mind, guys, I don't actually think any of these fights should be made. But out of all the undeserved fights you can make, this is one of the worst. And the only clear fight to make was Pereira versus Magomed. Only clear fight to make. And it didn't happen. And it's just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. And the card is not a bad card by any means, but it's not about the card necessarily. It's just about the principle that the UFC is setting. And it's a real unfortunate principle because we need a meritocracy, but instead we're getting trash title fights, one-sided beatdowns, protecting champions. It's just, in fact, they're going to have Pereira move up to heavyweight after this, I bet. They're going to have Magomed fight for an interim light heavyweight title or something, or just fight someone else for the title. Maybe if Yuri and Jamal Hill fight, they'll have Magomed fight the winner of that. I don't know. Maybe not Yuri, but I don't know. They probably just want, Pereira's 3 title defenses, so now he can go fight up in heavyweight. That's probably what they're going to want to do. Who goddamn knows? Just Dana White, resign, man. Get out of here. You're done, dude. You're burnt out, man. You're treating this like it's WWE. Gimmick BMF belts, gimmick title fights that make no sense. You're disrespecting the people that actually put in hard work, their lives work to get to a title shot. You're disrespecting their work, man, and their families and everything about that. It's just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. It just makes me really sick, honestly. It's the disgraceful main event. And it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But guys, I wish this news would be happy. I really wish I could be, I'm excited about some of these fights. I wish I could be, excited about everything and praise Dana White. But It's just, this is pathetic. This is not acceptable. But what do you guys think about the main event and the card in general? Thank God, the main event is terrible, even though, the main event is not a good main event. The co-main event is horrible, but the rest of the fights are pretty good. And at least we'll see Pereira get at least Pereira get an entertaining knockout. But it's just, that's not enough. We need people who actually deserve the title shots getting the title shots. That's what we need. That is what we need, and we're not getting it, and it's really unfortunate. So let me know what you guys think about the card. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.